The infamous Black Widow of Las Vegas was about to have her day in court. Margaret Rudin's run from the law is over, and it sets up an unforgettable trial.
There was problems. He was a difficult person at times. But yes, I did love him.
That was Margaret in February 2001, giving News 13 at the time an interview, just days before the opening statements in a case that was about to be broadcast live on national TV.
Why would someone want to kill Ron?
I wish I could answer that. I wish I could.
The state's case was presented by Gary Guyman and Deputy District Attorney Chris Owens.
There was some marital discord, if you will. And of course, under the property or the community property laws of the state, you're entitled to 50%. Ronald Rudin dying, Margaret Rudin would believe that she would be entitled to 100%.
The opening statements made by defense attorney Michael Amador in March 2001 left the courtroom and Judge Joe Bonaventure stunned.
Everybody got concerned at opening statements when Michael Amador stood in front of the jury and was completely unprepared.
A rambling, nonsensical speech got the defense off to a wobbly start, and things went from bad to worse when the defense attempted to reenact the bedroom shooting.
Right now I'm going to shoot you.
The defense stages this reenactment of the murder. They bring in a movie set of Ron Rudin's bedroom, and one of the attorneys is lying down in bed, and the other one goes bang, bang, bang with a, fake gun.
The display set the judge and prosecutors off.
Mr. Mamet and Mr. Petaro just did some kind of reenactment in front of the jury, very loudly, I think putting their credibility into evidence, making themselves witness, without any basis for doing that. This was more than just the numerous arguments they've been making spontaneously in front of the jury. This was some kind of reenactment of the thing with both of them. It was unprofessional. It's unethical. I've never seen anything like that.
The defense team scolded. Then, at one point during the 9.5-week trial, Margaret spoke up and asked the judge to stop the proceedings.
There came a point in the trial, and everyone was wondering, what's wrong with Michael Amador? And Margaret speaks up, and she has a very soft voice, speaks with a southern accent. She's from Tennessee, and she said, Your Honor, I would like a mistrial.
Her argument? Her attorney wasn't prepared enough for trial. The trial went on and took more twists and turns. Prosecutors called Donna Cantrell Robinson, Margaret's baby sister, to the stand.
How many years separate the two of you?
About 8 to 8.5.
Donna was the key witness who flipped on Margaret, testifying she knew Margaret bugged Ron's office to hear his conversations and was totaling up his wealth.
One of the things she had said to me once we were in the offices is that there had been an appraisal of Lee Canyon with an appraisal value of $3.5 million.
Money creates motive and opportunity. Prosecutors argued Margaret had plenty of both.
Tell me who got into your high security house, surrounded by dogs, shot and killed Ron in the bedroom, removed him, cleaned up the room so that you didn't notice anything amiss, drove him 40 miles to the desert, decapitated and burned him, and brought his car back to town. And I said, Margaret, does that sound like the mob to you?
The defense offered up its own theory, describing Ron as having shady business dealings with even more unsavory characters.
Margaret comes up with this notion that, it must have been the drug lords that killed him because that's what they do. That's how they get back at people that they're dealing with.
Ron was a licensed gun collector. There was talk he had connections to South America. But the jury didn't buy it, and on May 2nd, 2001,
We find the defendant guilty.
Margaret Rudin, unfazed, stoic, cold.
And when I read that verdict, I looked right in her eyes, and I paused symbolically, and when I said the word guilty, she didn't even blink.
Rudin, 58 at the time, was now a convicted murderer. Rudin wouldn't go quietly in the months after her trial ended, filing court appeals and granting another interview with News 13.
And I objected to the foreman. The man that they ultimately made the foreman, number 5. At the time, I said to both of them, I leaned over and I said, I don't like him. I think that we should reject him.
Ron Vast was juror number 5 and the jury foreman. All these years later, learning Margaret wanted him off the case from the start.
I've often thought that, I could maybe be a target when she got out because I was kind of instrumental in getting the verdict that we got.
Margaret never got her retrial and maintains her innocence to this day. The story of Margaret Rudin brings us to California and inside the evidence vault where some key items have gone untouched for years. That's next.